welcome back to the Blue Jays Today Show, a special late evening on a Thursday episode because if you've been tuning into our podcast and our live streams, the boys, Nick and I, are going on a golf trip this weekend, a hard fought earned golf trip. And honestly, after watching the Jays and the roller coaster and the stress they give me, I kind of need to hit the links. I need to really bad. But regardless, we're here live. It's just me tonight on the stream. Nick is over there at Baseball Town. Shout out to the Walk-Off Podcast, Scott, Keegan Matheson, and everybody else out there right now. Nick is on the panel, so he'll be there. If you're there, enjoy the show. If not, you're here with us, and you're watching Blue Jays baseball, or you may have just watched it, and you saw a pretty bad loss. Ground Out Guerrero Jr. in the chat here saying, great game earlier today. That's sarcasm. We talked about sarcasm on the stream and how you really got to make it clear. Yeah, it was not a great game. We're going to break that down. And as well, we're going to talk about what are the problems on this team. And of course, what are the good things that are happening on this team. Also, one of the bad things is Santander. A lot of you guys want to talk about Santander. So I guess it's time to talk about him and whether or not we should do some sort of change with the lineup. And why is this YouTube title called Disaster Incoming? It's because we got the Detroit Tigers tomorrow and this weekend. And don't even get me started on the Padres happening next week. We got to take one disaster at a time. The Tigers are one of the best teams in baseball right now. And the Blue Jays are playing like a 500 ball club. You don't really know what you're going to get on any given night. But you know what you're going to get from the Detroit Tigers, which is a very, very tough opponent. So without further ado, what's up, everybody? Joseph, your content guy. Daniela saying hello again. And Ground Out Guerrero Jr., of course. And Daniel, all in here. If you guys haven't done so, hit that like button and subscribe to Blue Jays Today. We're only 300 subscribers away from the magical 30K mark, which we've been chasing down for almost 5 years now. I'm taking a sip of coffee. I'm going to need to take my time with this one, y'all, because it's just me here today. I feel like Mike Wilner when he does a solo podcast. All right, here we go. Starting off with the team, the Blue Jays, and the game today. The Blue Jays lost 8-3, y'all, everybody. I knew it was going to be a slugfest. I thought it was going to be for the Jays side of things, but it was for the Tampa Bay Rays side. They only had 3 innings, the Blue Jays defensively and pitching-wise, where they didn't give up a run in an inning. That was the 3rd, the 7th, and the 8th. The guy who gave up the most runs today was Kevin Gausman. Funny enough, I was listening to Joe Siddall post-game, and I kind of feel the same way as him, where he obviously didn't have it because he was giving up a lot of hard hits, contacts, 10 hits given up by the guy, 6 earned runs, and I think it was 3 home runs. I believe he gave up 3 home runs. Yeah, 3 home runs. But the stuff was good. Like, his fastball got up to 99 today. It was just the Rays' game plan was really good. They were attacking the fastball, getting on it, starting off with that Brandon Lowe homer. Look at that. The 2 Lows, not related, actually. Lowe getting off it, hitting a home run off of it in the first inning, excuse me. And ever since then, he'd follow up with a strikeout, strikeout 2 to finish the inning. Then the next inning, boom, they hit another homer, and then, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it wasn't a overall good stat line, and Kevin Gausman's ERA has inflated up to 4.59. Let's stick with the Kevin Gausman conversation right now, because that was another thing people bringing up. Well, when I asked you guys, what should we talk about in today's show? Well, the inconsistency of Kevin Gausman. It's kind of true. I mean, you look at the game logs right here. Let's go back. Let's do the entire season. You got a quality start, March 28th. Nice. You love to see that for Kevin Gausman. Not so quality start, doesn't go 6 innings, 3 earned runs. Then he goes 8 innings, 0 earned runs. So let me just do quality start, not quality start, okay? Ready? This is the whole season. Not quality start, not quality. Quality start, not quality, not quality, quality start, not quality, and then today, not quality. So very inconsistent. And people are saying, oh, if this is the Blue Jays ace, then, we're in panic mode. Thing is, the Blue Jays don't really have an ace, y'all. Like, Kevin Gausman's been this way all season. Chris Bassett got off to a great start, has been getting beat up as of late. Barrios is kind of getting beat up as of late. Same thing with Bowden Francis. I mean, let's flash over right here to the month of May so far. Halfway through May 15th. We got right here the boys. 3 games other than Bowden Francis is the entire rotation they've pitched. You know, you've got Jose Barrios with a 4.50 ERA, Chris Bassett 4.24, Kevin Gausman 4.76, Bowden Francis 5.73. They're all going through a rough patch right now. And I wouldn't personally label any of these guys as like the ace. Like, I'm going to roll this guy out and expect a W. It's not like what we've seen in the past from these guys. Kevin Gausman isn't the Kevin Gausman of old. Same with Jose Barrios. Same with Chris Bassett. He's 36 years old. Bowden Francis was kind of the hope that maybe he would take a next step, but he's off to a very slow start. So right now the Blue Jays don't have that Tariq Skubal, speaking of the Tigers, on the staff. And when that is happening, you really need the offense to step up. You certainly do. And they have been, and we'll get into that. But you really need the offense to step up. Or the Blue Jays right now, if I'm the Toronto Blue Jays front office, I'm thinking if we're going to be in this thing, we need to A, get Alek Manoah back, obviously. Or B, we got to make a trade at the deadline. Because this isn't going to cut it. And we don't make a trade for a guy like a Chris Bassett, like a Kevin Gausman, like a Jose Barrios. You make a trade for a guy that's an up there kind of guy. I'm talking low 3, high 2 ERA. You know, I mean, there's so many good pitchers this year. That would normally be a Cy Young candidate, but those are just quality top-end ace second pitchers in most rotations. That's what I'm looking for if I'm the Toronto Blue Jays. It's so clear. And, you know, maybe part of this has to do with the fact that they are running a 4-man rotation. I mean, as of late, they have been running a 5 with that bullpen day. But still, I mean, they are up there in age, guys. These aren't the quality dudes like we've seen in the past. I mean, right here, AJ Marash in the chat. The pitching staff is getting old. They need younger guys to perform because they are the future. That's right. That's absolutely true. And I don't know, I probably should name Hitat Hunbish, whatever that is. That kind of sounds something dirty. Says there is no reliable starter in the rotation. That's facts, right? And Jay's Talk saying, looks like we got a good crop of pitchers coming, but they need a couple years. Yeah, they need a couple more years because they either have Tommy John or they're too young, you know? And I will be talking about Trey Savage in a video upcoming this weekend. But yeah, point being, this isn't the Jays staff of old, so you should expect games like we saw today. I guess the one good note on today's game is that we actually hit 3 home runs, granted, all of them being solo. You had Addison Barcher hit a solo home run. You had Guerrero hit a line drive over the wall. My goodness, that was phenomenal. That was a great hit. And then you had Mr. Nathaniel Lucas hit a line drive shot. Now, Lucas, we needed to highlight here on the show. He has been one of the brightest spots in this Blue Jays team. I'm flashing it over right here. Let's get it up right here. Well, overall, the Blue Jays offense in May is 4th in OPS. That's why we're having actually a somewhat winning record in May. You know what I'm saying? Somewhat winning is not like drastically more winning. Because even though the pitching has been bad, the offense has been this damn good. 807 OPS in the month of May. And the guys who are doing it is the guy who I just brought up. Nathan Lucas is leading the team in OPS in May with 996 and an average of 333. Remember, we were all like, Anthony Santander. That's when we'll start getting cooking because he's going to start popping off in the month of May. Nobody talked about this guy right here. Nathan Lucas with 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and a 996 OPS. Nathan Lucas has been quietly under the radar. He hasn't qualified yet because he hasn't had enough ABs for any of these categories, but you can kind of see right here on Baseball Savant, there's a lot of red. Expected batting average in the red. He's expected batting average of 313. The slugging, not so much. He never was that guy. But the expected WOBA up there at 372. He hits the sweet spot of the bat. He doesn't strike out. He doesn't walk. And what more can you ask for from a 30-year-old Nathan Lucas? And I said this before. Nathan Lucas, at age 30, for the Blue Jays, you had to make a choice. You got to call this guy up. You got to give him an opportunity because how much more time is left in Nathan Lucas's career, right? He's a late bloomer, obviously, but this is his peak, right? And how much you're going to get out of him? So absolutely, Nathan Lucas, they're soaking the value, and I am very happy that they didn't take my word and send him down when they brought Dalton Varsho up. Instead, they did Alan Roden, who's doing good in the minors right now, so shout out to Alan Roden, our boy. Hopefully he comes back up later, but not until Nathan Lucas gets the most value. We get the most value out of him. Sipping some coffee right now. What's up to the 51 people in here right now? Late. I know it's not the typical time we stream, but if you're in here, hit that like button and subscribe to Blue Jays Today. All right, let's talk about it because it's somewhat becoming the elephant in the room, and that is that Anthony Santander is still hitting below the Mendoza line and has an OPS of 582. And I said this on many Blue Jays Today shows in the past, saying, hey, give Anthony Santander May. Give him the month of May, and he'll be fine. Well, so far, it's better. He's hitting a little bit above 200 in the month of May. I don't have the stats right here. I checked on the Blue Jays Today show. It's about 243 without the game that we just saw in the month of May with an OPS of 688. So it's a little bit better, but that's obviously not what we're paying the freaking guy to do. We're paying him in home runs. We're paying him to have a high OPS, high slug. And looking over right now on the Baseball Savant page, yeah, I mean, when you are having a rough start, it's going to look like this. Now, I do want to say from an eyeball test standpoint, even today, Santander ripped a ball down the right field line and it hooked foul. He's been having so many hit balls, and a lot of them fastballs. He's ahead of the fastball that he's hooking down the right field line, squirting down the first base line from the left-handed side, and he is just getting close. He's just close, but close isn't good enough. You're paying the guy to give some results. So a lot of people were kind of talking, well, is it time for a bit of a move? Because you have literally everybody else in the lineup producing. I mean, let me flash it up right here again. Everybody else in the lineup is starting to produce in the month of May. Like, look at this. These are the guys who are having an OPS over 800. Okay, first let me start with the guys over 900. Guerrero's hitting over 900. Nathan Lucas hitting over 900. Alejandro Kirk dropped today. Okay, those are only two guys. Over 800. Bo Bichette, Alejandro Kirk, Addison Barger, George Springer, of course. Dalton Varsho. Is it time to move Anthony Santander down the lineup? And you could make two arguments. One for, one against. Against that is you're saying, hey, this is our guy, you pay him, you got to trust him. And yeah, it's still early. It's still halfway through May. May technically isn't over. And, you know, he could hit 4 home runs, 5 home runs in the next 2 weeks, and we wouldn't be having this conversation anymore. So keep him there for when he does get hot and you have guys getting on base. Totally get that for sure. However, then there's the other case. Well, we are having a tough time limiting runs on the defensive and pitching side of things. Why not put the best guys that are hot right now in the top of the lineup? For example, look at last weekend against Seattle. No Anthony Santander, and we swept. You know, it's not all because of that, but because you had Barger come up in big spots. He drove, I think it was 4 or 5 RBIs. Was it 6 RBIs that weekend? Someone fact checked me in the chat. It was a lot of RBIs. Lots of runs batted in. Why? Because he's hot, and he's there driving in Bo Bichette. He's there driving in Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right? So for me, my ideal lineup would probably be this. Bo, Vlad, and I'm throwing Barger 3, and here's why. I'll tell you in a second. George Springer 4, Kirk 5, and then after that we kind of round it off. Honestly, Nathan Lucas 6, the way he's heading. Put Nathan Lucas 6. Here's why I'd put Barger up to 3 spot versus the George Springer, for example. George Springer's a proven veteran. He is hot right now. People probably don't want to face him right now. Whereas Addison Barger, overall numbers still don't look good, and you might think as an opposing team, well, this is a rookie. Like, I'd rather face Addison Barger than Vladdy and George Springer. Well, put him in that spot and get him some fastballs. Get him some good pitches to hit in those moments. So that's my argument right there. You could probably say another argument. And Tony, friend right in here, going back to the Santander thing, you'd have 6 being Santander. That's where you'd put Nathan Lucas 6. Maybe you put Santander 6, then Nathan Lucas 7. But if you put Santander 6, yeah, have him get hot in the 6th spot. The great thing is you're still going to have guys like George Springer, Barger, Kirk in front of him, and he can hit some homers. Take some pressure off him a little bit. You know, look what happened with George Springer when he took a little bit of pressure off him. I'm a fan of it. You guys let me know in the chat what you think. Is it too early to be doing it? I'll say this, though. I've given him May. I'm not going to go back on my word. I'm giving him all of May. June 1st comes around, and Buddy's still batting below the Mendoza line. He has like 2 home runs in the month of May. What? You got to move him down. And then the moment he has like 3 good weeks of great baseball and he's proven it, okay, you're back up. Or if someone else gets cold, boom, you're back up. Right? You didn't, we signed you. You haven't really earned the 3 spot other than the name is Anthony Santander and we pay you lots of money. Right? That's why you're batting third. Right? And we know you can be good, obviously, but you're not right now. And seasons are won and lost, in the first 2 to 3 months. Well, we're halfway through that timeline. Let's get going. I'm thinking, and yeah, so people are kind of agreeing. You guys let me know in the chat if you agree with me right now. Before we move on, let's give a quick shout out here, everybody, to the sponsor of this podcast. I'm trying to decide which sponsor I want to do. Let's give a shout out to Amsterdam Brewhouse right now, everybody. Amsterdam Brewhouse, this next segment's presented by. They're just a 5-minute walk from the Rogers Center, where the best Blue Jay fans tailgate, post-game, pre-game for beers and food. If you don't have tickets, go down to Amsterdam Brewhouse. They've got TVs, especially in the summer. They got patios. It's amazing. Damn good craft beer, locally brewed in Toronto on the on-site brewery. Check out the latest from brewmasters at Amsterdam with their always rotating adventure brews. Amsterdam Brewhouse, 245 Queens Quay West. We're going to be there for another event coming soon, probably in about 3 weeks, everybody. First week of June. We'll let you know when we know. Keep tuning in. We're having a big event. We're doing tons of giveaways, Jays tickets, merchandise, trivia, Amsterdam merchandise. We're even giving away this Vladdy 500 Club t-shirt. People are loving them right now, so it's a good time to give away. On the back, at Vladdy Dinero 500 Club. It's kind of hard to see, a little bit overexposed. 500 Club is super dope. We're giving those away, as well as the Vladdy J for Life 27. So you want to be there down at Amsterdam Brewhouse. All right. Tony Taters, that's a guy we need to get hot. So overall, where are we in the standings? Well, we're back down to third. The AL East, we're getting kind of lucky here, folks. The AL East is pretty weak. I mean, Boston is getting injured a shitload. Tanner Houck doesn't look good. They obviously don't have a Walker Buehler. The offense is obviously a very good part of that team. We're getting honestly kind of lucky too. I mean, we have a run differential of -27. -27. So we are getting a little bit lucky that we're still in the mix, but things will probably shape out soon. But we're right there. Now, granted, it's too early to be looking at the wild card. Honestly, too early to be looking at any of these standings. But we're 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. The thing is, though, with the AL East being as weak as it is, it's not good enough like in the years past to just be second or third in the AL East. You got to be better than the AL Central, which is an absolute slaughter fest right now. You got the Cleveland Guardians, got the Kansas City Royals, got the Minnesota Twins. They're all in the Central, and they're all right now holding wild card spots. Crazy that Houston, the Rangers, the Athletics are all ahead of the Toronto. Actually, not the Houston Astros. They're always that good. But the Athletics and the Rangers are ahead of us right now. So Blue Jays, you got to be doing a little bit better here, folks. Maybe things will get better. What am I saying? I was about to say something sarcastic, but that wasn't a sarcastic tone. Things are not going to get better this weekend, because disaster is incoming for the Toronto Blue Jays. You've got the Detroit Tigers coming into town against the Toronto Blue Jays. If you're not familiar, I was just talking about that AL Central being good. Well, all those wildcard teams, even though they're all really good, they're not as good as the Tigers, who are 29-15 with a run differential leading the American League of +86. That's also the highest run differential in all of baseball. They also have the most wins in all of baseball. The Tigers are continuing their tear, and they are the best team in baseball, and they're coming into the Rogers Center. Javier Baez is popping off. Look at their team right here. Look at their stats. You got Javier Baez, folks, popping off with an 842 OPS. Spencer Torkelson is him. Even the depth guys all batting around the 700 OPS mark. You've got Riley Green doing great. You've got Gleyber Torres over 800 OPS, and Kerry Carpenter, a legit stud. And, that's their offense. That's what they needed to pair up with one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. Thank God we are just missing out on Tariq Skubal, because that would be deadly. We are going to get Flaherty, who has been getting beat up as of late. Reese Olson and Jackson Jobe, their number one prospect in their system. Overall, this Tiger team is good. They're the third best bullpen in baseball. They got the sixth best starting rotation, and they've got the second best offense in runs scored. This is scary. And they're coming in, and they're going to face Bowden Francis and the boys. Before we go into it, though, we're going to squeeze in another sponsor here, everybody. It's time to give a quick shout out to Betway. Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only, must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content. Shout out to Betway, everybody, for being just literally the best sponsor ever. Like, they've supported the boys through thick and thin. Detroit Tigers, I just wanted to highlight how good they are. To win the AL Central, you get 1.55 times your money if you bet on them to win the Central. And that's with 3 other really good teams in that division. There you go. I would bet on it. That feels like a lock to me, honestly. But let's talk about this series upcoming. And I like the comments right here by Leah saying, but it's just like the Jays to sweep the Tigers. Because I was saying, this is why I don't know this team. I said last weekend we would get swept by, no, I said we lose 2 against the Mariners. More likely we get swept, but I'm going to say we lose 2. We swept them. Then I said we're going to sweep the Rays. We lose 2. So I'm going to give you my what I think will happen prediction, and then I'm going to give you my Blue Jays is a weird fucking team, and the sport of baseball is a weird fucking sport prediction. How about that? I'll give you my prediction and the weird prediction, because that's the game of baseball. All right, let's start it with it right here on Friday, 7:07. Flaherty, Bowden, Francis. Flaherty's been struggling as of late, but so has Bowden, Francis. And again, you got the number 1 team in baseball. They're coming in. Ooh, do I say we win this game? Do I like mess around a little bit and say we win this game, folks? What is Jack Flaherty's last little bit in game logs? 5 earned runs, 4 earned runs. Oh, dude, he's been struggling. He's been struggling. I'm going to say we mess around and win this game, folks. Okay, my prediction is that Bowden Francis is going to have a bounce back. He's due. We win this somehow. Look at this. Baddoo, Baez, Carpenter, Torres, Francis. 5 at-bats total. 0 hits given up. Elite. I'm going to say we F around and win tomorrow night on night mode night. Or whatever the hell whatever you want to call it. Whatever the hat they're giving out. Night mode hat night. So many nights. So I'm going to say we win this, but because baseball's weird, I say we lose. All right? I'm going the opposite. I'm doing the opposite with the weird prediction. Next, you have Olsen going up against TBD. This is probably going to be Eric Lauer. Where's Spencer Turnbull? I don't know. Hopefully we hear something tomorrow. I do say we are going to lose this game. Okay, we should lose this game. This is bullpen game day. Olsen's a good pitcher. But because baseball's weird, we win it, and we're both 1-1 in both predictions. Last game of the series, Jackson Jobe up against Jose Barrios. Listen, they're basically the same pitcher. Jackson Jobe, young rookie, up against the veteran Barrios. I think we're going to lose. If we can win 1 game in this series, you're surviving. You're surviving. But because baseball's weird, my weird prediction says the Blue Jays are going to win this 2-1 in the series. You're going to shut down Javier Baez. You're going to return him back to normal. You're going to make Gleyber Torres remember what it's like to face the Blue Jays. Right? You're going to punish him. The weird prediction side of me says they're going to cool down this Tigers team. The bats are going to come out screaming and take advantage of these pitchers. But the realistic side of me says the Tigers are going to roll over us and whatnot. But on the weird side of things for me, you're going to have a Santander breakout. He's going to hit 4 home runs in this series. But in the realistic side of me, I've got Santander going 0 for 12 with 2 walks. So weird side of me says win this series 2-1. Realistic side says we're probably going to be happy with 1 win and move on. That's that for me right there. But you guys, of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Turnbull made a rehab start in Dunedin today. Oh, there you go. I missed that update. I've been working all day long, folks, literally from 8 a.m. to now. I have not had a break. So I've just been content. And even after this, I'm making more content. So thank you, Benjamin, short name. Benjamin, thank you for the rehab start. Didn't realize he was that hurt, need a rehab start. But I knew he needed to get built back up. But hopefully he'll be back soon. Are you going live tomorrow? We are not. Like I said right off top of the show, boys are doing a golf trip. We're leaving at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So we're also going to come out with a podcast on Friday. So we're going to wake up at 8, record that podcast for y'all. Whatever news it might be. Hopefully it's Turnbull news. I kind of want to make out something on Turnbull or something. You guys let me know in the chat too. What do you want to see a podcast on? We'll come out with that tomorrow. We'll pre-record it, upload it later in the afternoon because we'll be on the golf course, enjoying a weekend. I kind of need it. Been working so many weekends back to back to back to back. Doing some side stuff. So we really appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate all the support. Why are you guys live again? Like I said, I don't know. Did you not just hear what I said, Ursivi? We're leaving tomorrow. We're leaving for a trip. So we're crushing in all the live streams. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing. We hope to come out with some social media content as well about this crazy golf weekend we're doing. So thank y'all so much for being here, supporting the boys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We'll see y'all live again next Monday. And as always, guys, go Jays, go.